Guys, I'm coming at you today with a video all about my heat press. It's probably the biggest crafting question I get asked is, what heat press do you use? So I thought I'd just go ahead and make a video all about my heat press, so here it is. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below, hit the notification bell right next to the subscribe button, and hit the like button for this video if you want to see more content like it. Okay, you guys, so like I said, the biggest question I get asked in the crafting world so far has been, what heat press do you use, why, where can I find it, so on and so forth. So I thought I'd just go ahead and make an entire video all about my heat press, give you guys all the details. I've written down a ton of notes to share with you guys about it. Not to mention, I pulled out a bunch of other like small necessity things that I have found that have worked well with the heat press that I have and probably would work well with most heat presses. I may give a small little rundown on some other ones, some other heat presses out there, what I've heard about them, why I didn't go with those, so on and so forth. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into all about my heat press. I originally ordered this on August 2017, so I've had it for like 3.5 years, almost as long as I've lived in this house. I have had like zero issue with this. So when I first received it, I did a lot of like research on everything. And the biggest thing I saw was when you get it, you need to make sure to like let it burn off outside. So what I did was I got it, my husband and I, it's very heavy. Got it outside in the garage, like in the driveway, had the garage open, but it was actually in the driveway, and like turned it up to, I think like 450 degrees, maybe even to 600 something degrees to literally let it burn off. And you could see like the heat waves coming off of it. And I think that that was huge because you could also smell like that chemical smell. So I think that was a huge helpful tip. So that would definitely be a tip that I pass on to you guys, is whenever you get a new heat press that is like an actual press, make sure to let it burn off outside. Don't do it inside. You'll probably set off, you know, alarms, and it'll smell really bad and you might pass out. Like, it was really strong and we were outside in the open air. So I'd be that. So this is a Fancier Studios heat press. It's a digital heat press. It is a 15 by 15 plate, and when I purchased it, was $189.99 on Amazon.com. I will link it down below. Unfortunately, the one that I've purchased no longer is available, so I have been linking the like newer version of this model. Like I said, I've had zero issues with this, so I have no problem recommending it to people, but it just kind of depends on the space that you have. So what I will give you the measurements. So the product dimension says it's 30 by 19 by 17. So I'm thinking that it's 17 inches here, 19 inches that way, and 30 inches tall probably when it is clamped shut, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it's when it's tall like that. But regardless, it says it's 30 by 19 by 17. There's no like real specificity as to if it's open or closed when it's giving those dimensions. But regardless, that's what it is, 15 by 15, like I said. The temperature ranges from 0 degrees to 699 degrees Fahrenheit, and the time ranges from 0 to 999 seconds. I don't know what you would be pressing for 999 seconds. So 999 seconds would roughly be 16.65 minutes. Yeah. I don't know what you'd be pressing for that long. I've never pressed a t-shirt for that long. I think you'd start a fire if you did, so
don't do that.
But you do have the option of 999 seconds. So there you go. If you know what you would press for that long, let me know in the comments down below. I'm not sure what that would be. So if you know, let me know. This is a silicone gel base board. It's like squishy and foamy almost, but you can tell it's like very heat resistant because it's silicone gel. The pressure on this is adjustable, so you can adjust how much pressure you're getting on your t-shirt here, and that goes like gives more or less pressure. It has a Teflon coating here on the top of the clamp right here, but I have this Teflon sheet around it, and I'll go into that in a bit. And it is a clamp shell, so when you pull it down, it sits like this, but it doesn't grasp. You have to push it all the way down for it to actually clamp down onto it and the seconds start counting. As soon as you push it down, you don't even have to push it all the way down. It starts counting those seconds down. Things that I have added to it, like I said, are this Teflon sheet here and these magnets that are holding that in place. I will link all of these things down below. I got them all on Amazon, and I just chose these magnets on Amazon because they were thin. And so I used those to hold that sheet on, and you can see it just grips really well. So I've had zero issue with this Teflon sheet coming off of that. So when I turn this on, you'll hear a beep. When I'm heating it up, I always keep it open to heat up, but since I'm trying to show you guys let me actually pull the camera in a little closer. So when I turned it on here, you can see it started at like 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and I have the timer set for 15 seconds. You can see the time and temperature get set. Let me hold this a little better. Time and temperature, you can do up and down here for time and temperature. So if I wanted more than 15 seconds, I would just press that up. If I wanted the temperature to be higher, I'd press it up. And then there's just a flip button over here that turns it off and turns it on. So it beeps when it comes on, and then when it is done, I'll show you. I'll hold it down. So it's counting down the seconds now. It's at 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's what it sounds like when it's done. And as soon as you lift it, it stops beeping. So that's the Fancier Studios heat press. It does say caution hot surfaces. Obviously you don't want to touch the top when it is warming up or when it's hot, and down here is fine, except when you have just freshly pressed it, you can feel the heat on it. So I'm going to turn that off now because I don't want it to heat up. I will also say you want to have it in a well ventilated area, not because of chemical smell, but because it does get hot. So you could use it outside, or you could use it, you could use it in your garage. If you have a well ventilated area, like this is my whole craft room, I have this set up that it is kind of separated from everything. So I don't have any issue with it getting too hot in here as long as I keep the door open when I am making shirts or pressing anything on there. The other couple things that I wanted to mention again was this Teflon sheet. I'll link those down below. I put that on just because that plate that's under there that says it's Teflon coated, I feel like is not Teflon coated enough. There were a couple times I felt like I was nervous it was gonna burn the shirt that I was pressing. So I always had this piece over here, and then I like to have, like I said, these magnets to hold it on, and I will link those down below as well. And then the other thing that I found that is so great for shirts, that if you are pressing, like if you have multiple designs that you have cut out and you're like putting them on, like placing them so that they're centered on the shirt, but you don't want them to move. Sometimes if you don't have them stuck really well, it will move around on the shirt, and then you could press it and it could be crooked. So I got this, I'll say my now 6-year-old niece got this for me in my stocking 2 years ago, and I've gotten more since. It is this heat tape, heat resistant heat tape. And all it takes is one little strip of it. You do need to have scissors to cut it. As far as I found, it's the easiest to separate it. It's hard to like tear. So you need to have a little pair of scissors, and you can use that to tape that down, and you can press the shirt with this over the design, and it won't stick to the shirt. It doesn't melt, nothing like that. So that is a great little tip and trick. Like I said, I have had this for 3.5 years and I've had no issues with it. So make sure you do a burn off outside. Make sure that you have enough room for it on a area, and make sure that it is kind of secluded so you don't have things like right up against it. The cons that I've noticed, one is this plate is really, it's really hard, and that could have to do with the pressure I have it set at. I actually never changed the pressure. Like I changed it, but I changed it back right after I got it out because I felt like that was the right amount of pressure for a t-shirt. So when you push it down and you lift it up, it's really difficult. Like you have to throw your whole body into it. So that's one thing with the clamshell heat press, right? The other thing is the way this sits, you can see I have like paper towels under here, which is probably not like the best, but under here doesn't get hot when it's heated up. I put that to give a little grip because I have it on this like surface, this real almost slick surface. It's just a sit-stand desk from IKEA, and it's a slick surface. So if I don't have something underneath the feet of that to grip it, it kind of slides around, and I don't like that because I don't like it feeling like it's gonna slide into the wall or anything. So those are the two cons that I would say. Let me talk about, like, real quick, let's talk about some of the other styles of heat presses. One that I was really interested in is it's still a clamshell heat press, but it actually opens and swings away. So you have less chance of like burning yourself on it. And I think now that I've used this one, when it goes out years from now, I will probably look into getting one that's similar to that, that also has attachments for like mugs and that kind of stuff, because those are really hard to do by hand, and you can do heat transfer vinyl on them. Sublimation you can do on them, and if you have the right attachment for it, it is a lot easier because it holds that like mug or tumbler in place. So I think those are pretty cool, the ones that have the accessories on it. The only thing with all the accessories to me was it seemed like a real beating to take the accessories on and off to be able to do like the mug press or the cap press. So that was one thing that kind of, since I was new to the heat press world, I really didn't want to get too much into that and have too much to like learn. To me, getting just this basic one was great. It's a hobby for me, so that's really all I needed it for. Again, looking forward, as I go forward, would I get that? Yeah, probably. Would I get it as a beginner? Depends. If you're doing it as a hobby, no. If you're doing it as a business, you're starting up a business, yes, because those will definitely come in handy. I would definitely get the 15 by 15 again. There's one, when I link the newer version of this machine down below, there is one that is a 9 by 12, I think, or is that that might be the moving one. But there are machines that are 9 by 12. There's the heat press machines that are 15 by 15. This is 15 by 15. I think it is a fantastic like size for any size shirt. Sometimes if you have like more than an XXL shirt, you might have to press twice by doing the top of the press here and then moving the shirt up and doing it, or down, vice versa, over, whatever. I did one of those giant Santa Claus bags for my niece, and I had to, it was a larger than that project, so I had to separate that out to be cut on my Cricut machine, number one, but two, then I had to press it in sections. So that was fun and unique, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago, so I don't even have footage of doing that, but maybe this coming year I could do something like that so you guys can see an off the mat project. And then let's see, there are like the Cricut Easy Press irons. I personally don't love those. I've heard multiple people say that have them, that got them, that kind of bought into them real quick. They don't love them. And the reason being is they are just like a larger hand iron. You still have to put the pressure on. With this machine, if you have the right pressure, it sets the pressure, like that pressure is on the shirt and you don't have to worry about it. You just clamp it down. So the Easy Press to me is, it would be great if you don't have room for a heat press, but you do need maybe something that has a bigger space. I think one of those bigger ones would be great for that if you just don't have the space to like store a whole heat press. So I think those are good. And the little tiny ones are really great for like a hand iron for your smaller projects when you just need that little bit of heat. And they have multiple sizes. I can look that up. I'll link all those down below for you guys. But I just think that having a heat press, again, if you're going to do it as a hobby, is not necessary, but definitely makes the jobs easier, especially when I've done like runs of like Christmas shirts for people, and I've done like 4th of July shirts where I offered like deals on those out to friends of mine on Facebook and that kind of stuff, and I had people order shirts, and those always came out so cute, but they were made so much easier by having a heat press. So if you guys have any more questions, I can't think of any other questions that people were asking me about my heat press. So if you have any more questions, please go ahead and just comment in the comment section down below, and I will answer it as quickly as possible, as best as I can. I am not an expert in heat presses. I'm literally just a hobbyist that has had a heat press for 3.5 years and has enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed sharing it with you guys. So I will link everything down below. Check all that out, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye. So far is not to mention, and then The things that I have added, this is a silicone, and now let's talk about, and like I've said, and this one, the way I'll put like a video in here of that, but